I've never dreamt before, and I'm just letting you know that this is my first dream. This is my first dream, so I wrote it down and I felt led to share. So I was walking down the street, regular, like in my town where I live, and I'm just walking down the street, and I go, and there was people outside, and I see like a chaos, and I'm like, what's going on? So I go and I look to the left, and I see something descending from the sky. And like the first thing I thought, I was like, oh my God, that's the deception. That's gotta be this government, like with the aliens and stuff, doing a deception. But as I go and it comes closer, I seen him, you guys. When I tell you that I seen Jesus, I seen him. But he's not like what we think he looks like. He didn't look like that. He doesn't have blonde hair and long hair and all that. That's not how he came. He came down. And he was descending, like it was like in a cloud, but he was on a horse. And he was with somebody else, and he was with something else. I don't know who he was with. I wasn't allowed to see that. But I know that he didn't come down by himself. And he had short hair, not like a fade or anything, but it was like a short hair. And he was like my complexion. He was like dark skin, and he had a crown on his head. And he wasn't smiling, you guys. He was not smiling. And he didn't look at me or anything, but I saw him, and he was coming down. And as he was coming down, landing on the ground, I looked to the right hand side, and I seen in the heavens, I seen the kingdom of heaven. I seen like a city in the clouds. And it's like, you know, when you have like a mist in the clouds, and it comes like clearer and clearer, I saw like a city. And I was like, and I hear people saying the Messiah, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Jesus. I'm like, oh my God, it's Jesus. And he came down. So I go and I start running because I'm looking for my husband. And as I keep running, I see on the right side and the left side, it was these demons coming from the dirt, and they looked like gargoyles, but they were like made out of stone, and they were just grabbing people. And I just kept running. And I kept running looking for my husband. I remember in my head, I'm like, he has to know that Jesus came. Like, he has to know. And I just kept running. I've never experienced anything like this, you guys. And Lord knows I'm humbling myself, Father. I humble myself, Lord. I don't know what it is that he's doing, but I feel like I have to say it. I have to speak about it. I can say that I saw Jesus. I saw Jesus, and I saw his face and the crown on his head, and he came down to the ground in the cloud. God is real, you guys. God is real. Jesus is real. And I go and I run to my husband. I just weep and I just weep and I just weep. And I go and I run to my son's room, and I just hug him because I don't want my son to stay. But I have faith. I have faith, and I walk by faith and not by sight.
All right, hey, Shalom Akim. This is a video that I stumbled across. And before I get into it, I want to give all praises and glory, honor to Yahawashi. Double honors to the elders, great millstone, much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful leg during all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yahawashi Barakatam. You know, this that video that was y'all brothers just seen was published September 22nd, 2019, and you know, it's just another testimony, you know, of people seeing certain things in the heavens, okay, or in the dreams that is of from above, from Yahawashi, okay. And we are living in those times, man. And before I bring that one out, let me go over here in the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 16. But this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the power, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Okay, so to receive a vision is to receive a prophecy, an event that is not yet come, but is to come. Okay, so what this woman had seen, she said, if you brothers were paying attention, she said that Jesus is not what we think or what we thought he looked like. Okay, he's not somebody with blonde hair. That he's a man with color, melanin, and he had short hair with the crown. Okay, I mean, more or less, I mean, the scriptures bear witness with who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, what he looks like, which is his name is Yahawashi. He has woolly hair, okay, like a so-called Negro. And she said that he wasn't smiling. Okay, what does that mean? Is that because it's going to be a day of judgment, man, a day of destruction. All right, and verse 18, and on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. See, so this is another way of waking people up, is by these visions. Okay, and then the men of the Lord break down the script or the dream by way of the scriptures. Okay, and you notice, she was looking for her husband. I don't want to veer off too far. I want to kind of stay in order, but everything that she's saying is according to prophecy. It's according to what's written in the scriptures. All right, let me line some scriptures up real quick. So Yahawashi told us through the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Comforter, that these things were going to come to pass, man. That people were going to see, terrifying dreams. Waking up shook and warning people. It says, verse 19, and I will show wonders in heaven above, the signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood, before the great and notable day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. You men of Israel, hear these words. Okay, so this is prophecy, man. And this is what's going on. There's people everywhere that are having visions, man. They're having dreams. Just like I made a comment, or I told us of somebody that is close to me that had a dream, man, that had to do with the Lord coming back, destruction. Okay, these things are for real, man. If a man can't persuade you, knowing the terror of the Lord's going to terrorize you by way of a vision, and stir you up, shake you up to lead you into that way. It may not always be to the way of this truth, but it might, it's going to be to another. It could be to something else, to destruction. Okay, so these things are for real, man. So I'm gonna go from there to the book of Revelation, chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 1 and jump around. The revelation of Yahawashi HaMashiach, which Yahweh gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. So it says to show unto his servants. Okay, because in the book of Revelation, it was the author is John the Revelator. But Yahawashi gives revelations unto his servants, the prophets. He revealeth his secrets unto the prophets, man. The mysteries, the oracles, the things that are not yet seen, the prophecy, by way of visions, by trances, by dreams. Okay, it says things which must shortly come to pass. So what she witnessed is something that's shortly going to come to pass. It's going to happen quickly, man. It says, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bare record of the word of the Most High and of the testimony of Yahawashi Mashiach and of all things that he saw. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Okay? For the time is at hand, man. It's of great urgency. That's why we go onto the highways and the byway, because we're sounding that trumpet. We're sounding that alarm. Warning you people of the coming destruction. Yahawashi ain't coming back to play games with you, man. Alright? The scriptures say, warn them from me. Let me get that one out real quick. In the book of Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 33 and verse 7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me. Why? Because he's coming back to destroy, man. He's coming back to judge. He's pissed off. He's a pissed off power, man. He's not coming around to play no more games. And this is a power that's coming back, and nobody can do shit about it. You can't turn back the Most High and His Son, the creators of all things, the omnipresent, the omnipotent one, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, of all things that exist and that are visible and invisible, man. You cannot stop that. That's why people are gonna bug out. That's why people bug out when they see these visions, man, because it's something you cannot stop. The government ain't going to be able to stop you. Edomites, the United States government, the NATO, the EU, you ain't going to stop the power that comes from up on high, man. No matter what you try to come up with. The angels already know what you're doing. They're standing right by you, looking at you, what you're doing. You act like you're doing things underneath the rug that the Most High can't see. The Most High's eyes everywhere, man. You know? It says in Revelations chapter 1, and I'm going to jump down to 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, right? She said it was like a cloud, but he was on a horse. Well, guess what? Those clouds represent what the so-called UFOs, man, the chariots that they're described as in the scriptures. That's what he was on. But because you lack that understanding, you saw it as the horse, because that's what that's why he said, he that hath an ear, let him hear. Because you have to go into the scriptures to get the understanding of the certain things. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so amen. So this is even so. This is a sure thing that he's coming back with the clouds. That's the angels. All right, the chariots. Okay. Matter of fact, let me pull it out here just to prove that. Okay. And like she was saying, she was saying Jesus, but that's not his real name. But she was saying he is real, and that's truth. He is. All right. This is Psalms 104 and 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the waters of the wind, or Salakah, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits, and his angels a flaming fire. And it says who walketh upon the wings of the wind. I mean, he can like teleport, man, from different dimensions. You know. It was what is that video? I seen a video of chariots that the U.S. government were witnessing, and they were saying they were going against the winds that. And at a high rate that the winds couldn't even penetrate. Like they couldn't. It wasn't. They weren't backing up the chariots. The chariots were just moving like if it was nothing. Okay. So that's the understanding on those clouds. Okay. And he's coming back. And in the same chapter, it tells you, or verse 8, it says, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith Yahawashi, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. Al-Shadia, man. The demon-like power. Okay? And I'm going to jump down to where John had witnessed Yahawashi. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were like white like wool, as white as snow. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Okay, so that goes to where this woman said he had the same complexion as her, but even darker than that, because it goes on to say, and he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was like the sun that shineth in his strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead. So even John the Revelator, which was an apostle, one of the original apostles, still fell. He was shook. It says, I fell at his feet as dead. And he said, he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last. I'm missing something. Okay, right here in verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace. See, because he's even darker than what her complexion is. But there's just certain things that weren't being revealed yet. But for a surety, you know that was the Most High Son coming back to destroy, to judge. Okay? It says, I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. Okay? So that's the breakdown, man. You know? And where this woman is crying for her husband and her kids. This is in 2nd Ezra chapter 15. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and I'm gonna start at verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? So I'm gonna go down to verse verse 33, and I'll start at verse 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack, as when a woman would travail in the 9th month bringeth forth her son. Within 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plague be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. You see? So Yahawashi, he's gonna be as a plague unto the wicked, man. We know the UFOs are a curse unto Esau. He's gonna come as a thief into his house. This is in the book of John or Luke chapter 23 and 27. And there followed him great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him. But Yahawashi, turning unto them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming, in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bare, and the paps which never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and the hills cover us. Why? Because Yahawashi is coming back as that destructive force. Okay? Going into the book of, back into the book of Revelations, it says, Revelations chapter 6, verse 12, And I beheld, and when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became blood, and the stars of heaven fell upon the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that rideth, that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Okay? And that's the breakdown for her, man. You know? And we got to understand that we're living in the times of prophecy. It always has been and always will be until Yahawashi comes back. We're living in the time of prophecy that is written in the Bible. Whether you want to believe it or not, these things are for real. And only the elect are going to repent. Only the elect are going to acknowledge that. And they're going to get right with Yahweh B'Shem Yahawashi and understand that his name ain't Jesus. They're going to understand that he don't look like a so-called white man. And it's going to be given unto those that are predestined from the